Skill 35, Slope-Intercept Form. The goals of this lesson is to write linear equations using slope-intercept form, to graph linear equations in slope-intercept form. Vocab for this section is the parent function is the simplest form of a family of functions, and a linear equation is an equation that forms a straight line. The major concept of this lesson is the slope-intercept form equation, which has the slope and the y-intercept in the form of the equation, and it is solved for y. Okay, so now the change is going to happen at the m, and the m is the same m we talked about before. It's the rise over the run if we're looking at a graph, or if we're given points, it's the change in the y's, y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, and the constant is going to be your y-intercept. So you graph, you find where you cross the y-axis, the b, and then you count, go rise over run. That's how you set up your slope-intercept equation. For these first examples, we are going to be identifying the slope and y-intercept from an equation. So to do that, the first thing you need to do is make sure that it is in y equals mx plus b format. Y equals mx plus b, because then you have your m and you have your b. So the m is whatever is before the x, and the b is whatever is by itself. So once it is in the proper format, you can easily identify the m is 5, and in this case, the b is negative 2. For the next one, it is also in y equals mx plus b format. The thing before the x is the 1/2. The thing by itself is the positive 2/3. So that gives me my m of 1 over 2, and my b, my y-intercept, of 2 over 3. Okay, then we have the next one. This is not in y equals mx plus b format, so I need to solve for y. If I solve for y, then it will be in y equals mx plus b format. So I'm going to start by subtracting the 5x, and then I have negative 2y equals negative 5x plus 10. Okay, it's still not solved for y because I have something with the y, so I'm going to divide by the negative 2 and simplify. So that gives me y equals double negative right there is going to make that a positive 5 over 2x. 10 divided by negative 2 is a negative 5, so minus 5. Now I am in the proper format, so I can find the thing before the x is 5 over 2. The thing by itself is the b, that's minus 5. So I identify my m is 5 over 2, and my b is negative 5. Now what we have is we're given the information, the m and the b, and we need to find our slope-intercept form. So again, we're just recalling that our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, and then fill in what we know. So for this first one, my m is negative 4/5. So that's y equals negative 4 over 5x plus b, and my y-intercept is b, so plus 7. And then we have the next one here. M equals negative 1, y-intercept is 3/2. So if I use my y equals mx plus b format, y equals my m, which is negative 1. So you can either put negative 1 or just negative x plus b, so plus 3/2. And that would be your slope-intercept form equation. We also need to be able to write an equation from a graph. So on this one, you need to find the m and find the y-intercept. So it's easiest to first find where it crosses the y-axis, because that's the y-intercept. So in this case, my b is going to be -1. And then I need to see how far I go up and over. So it looks like every 2 boxes is 1. So there's 1, that's 1, 3, 3, and then I can just count until I get to my graph. All right, so that would be up 1, 2. So I went up 2, and then I go over 1. So that means my m is my rise over run, and I went up 2 and over 1. So my m is 2 over 1, or 2. Now I can actually put that into my format, y equals mx plus b. Y equals, my m was 2x plus my b was -1, so -1. Or if you didn't want to put the plus in there, you could just say -1, and that would be perfect. That's your final answer. This next one is a little bit trickier maybe, because we're just given 2 points and we have to write an equation in slope-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b. We need to write it like that. Well, I don't have an m and I don't have a b, so I need to find both those things. Well, we know how to find m, because m is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So I have my 2 points, so I'm going to use them. So 1 minus -8 over 2 minus 5. And then I'm going to simplify that. Double negative here is going to turn that to a positive. So 1 plus 8, that's 9. 2 minus 5, that's a -3, giving me an m of -9 over 3, which will simplify to -3. All right, then I have to find my b. This might be a little bit trickier. We need to just think about what we can do. Well, I have my m now, so I can put that right in there. And I do have a point that I could use. I actually have 2 different points I could use. So I just pick one of those points and put it in and then solve for b. So what I mean by that is take your y equals mx plus b, and we're going to solve for b. All right, put our m in and put this first point in just because it's easier. So we're just going to put that point in. 1 equals, my m is -3. And then I have my x, which is 2, plus b. And then I have to solve for b. Okay, so I'm solving for b. 1 equals -6 plus my b. And I'm solving for the b, so I'm going to add the 6 over. 1 plus 6, that's 7. So b is 7. Now that I have my m and I have my b, I have my slope-intercept form. Y equals my m, which is -3, x plus my b, which is 7. So that is slope-intercept form. Okay, finally, we are going to be graphing in slope-intercept form. For each one, you're going to have to find your m and find your b, and then start at your b and then move to your m. All right, so we start at our b, which is the thing by itself, so b is -1. So I'm going to go plot -1 on my graph, and then I'm going to count to my m. Well, it's like saying 2 over 1, so we're going to go up 2 and over 1. Up 2, 1, 2, and over 1. Plot that point, and then we can draw our line. Okay, for the next one, My m is the thing before the x, so that would be up 4 and over 5. And then my b is the thing by itself, so my b is at positive 2. So I'm going to cross at positive 2, and I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I do that, then I draw my line between the 2 points. And the last one, the m is before the x, so the m is negative 3, which is like saying negative 3 over 1. So we're going to go down 3 and over 1 on that one. And then my b is the thing by itself, which is a positive 2. So again, I'm going to cross at positive 2 on this one, but I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And then I draw my line between those points. So that would be what my graph would look like. So to cap off that, find your b, plot on your y-axis, your up and down axis, and then count on your m, rise over run. That is it for Skill 35 on Slope-Intercept Form. So now you should do your homework on the graphing lines page. You should do 1 through 3, and the writing equations page, you need to do 1, 2, 9, and 10.